So it looks like we're starting. Oops, I'll get rid of that one. Okay, so I don't know if anyone's actually in the room and going to be full. Excuse me. Can we highlight the desktop, this one? Well, in the meantime, what I'm going to be teaching is how to make a Jedi holocron. This is all origami. This one has a secret hidden inside, like a holocron should. If you open up the panels inside it, you will see the chase scene from Attack of the Clone. Boba Fett ship, Slave One, is a little bit too complicated for this level of class, but you could put one in here, and you could put anything else you want in here. I've done the Death Star trench run where I've had Luke's X-Wing, Vader's TIE, 2 smaller TIEs, and the Falcon chasing it. I've done the droid sail with a Jawa sandcrawler, a couple of Jawas, a couple of droids, Luke's land speeder. So you could do whatever you want with the holocron. I'm going to show you how to make the holocron panels today. Tomorrow, at the next session, I'm going to teach you how to make the Jedi fighter and the asteroids. So to start with, you're going to need to print out, well, you wouldn't have to, but I'd recommend strongly printing out the file. That's free. It's a PDF. The link is in the chat. And if you would post it again, just in case, you're going to find 6 pieces of paper. It looks like this isn't focused well. Let me see. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like it's a little fuzzy, and I'm not sure what to do about that. Is that any better? All right, well, you'll have to bear with that for now, and I'll see if I can fix it for the next session. Meanwhile, you're going to find in that file some directions for making the holocron, which I'm going to walk you through step by step today. You're going to find 6 pages with this artwork on it. And you'll need to cut each page out. Don't cut the little square. Cut along the black lines and the edge of the black. You'll also find this one, which will have the tiny square that you'll need to make the Jedi fighter. Some random rock paper that will cut into smaller rocks, and a little black strip, which will make this little stand that holds up the Jedi fighter. That's for tomorrow, so put that aside. All right, so I'm going to assume that not everybody is an origami expert. So I'm going to go over a couple of origami rules, suggestions, whatever you want to call them. Whenever, actually I'll use one of these. So whenever you go to fold a piece of paper, you don't want to just slap it over and fold. Notice I've got a little bit of red exposed here. This edge doesn't line up. That's bad. You want to make sure you're as accurate as you can possibly be. Corners lined up as best as you can get them. Edges lined up as best as you can get them. And that is half of the battle of origami. The other half is creasing. Don't just do that. It won't work. You need to crease it really sharp. So once you've got it flat, take your thumbnail, crease it really stiff. Do those 2 things every single time, and this will be easy. If you don't, it's not as easy. You might have some trouble with some of the later steps. And it looks really fuzzy. I know this was clear the other day. Let me try. Hold that thought. You didn't see that. Did that help? I can't really tell. I don't know why it's not focused very well. All right, well, I'm sorry for the quality of the video. I'll see if I can fix that. In the meantime, we're going to start with one of the panels. So, like I said, you'll need 6 of these or 6 plain pieces of paper. I'm going to show you real quick how to make any piece of paper into a square if you don't want to print out the special paper. Here is a regular rectangle of paper. So if you take one edge, fold it to the other edge on an angle, sharp point at the top, make sure these edges line up, crease. Now, right along this edge, you cut this piece of paper off. And I'll show you my favorite trick for doing this. See, it's very accurately lined up. Now, if you take the edge of the paper, crease it once, turn it over, crease it again. Now, take the tip of your finger, just tap your tongue, get it slightly moist, and run it along that crease. That will moisten the fibers in the paper and leave everything else dry. So now when you go to tear it, it's already weakened right there, and it will cut clean. All right, so this is a very fancy piece of paper. Origami model, sorry. This is a one of a kind. You'll never be able to duplicate this highly advanced model. This is an asteroid, or it's a piece of the exploded Death Star. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so from here, what did I do with the steps? Here we go. I want to make sure I follow these steps that are in the printout. All right, so from here, color side up. The 2 boxes are on the top and bottom. You're going to fold it from side to side and from top to bottom. Now, I want to make a special announcement before we start. There is a hidden Easter egg gift somewhere in the sessions for today and tomorrow. And if someone triggers that hidden thing, I will let you know what it is. But yes, that's what this is. So real quick, Forcefest. Happy Forcefest, everybody. And again, we're doing all this and trying to raise money for Make-A-Wish. So please donate using the Vcoin at the top right of your computer. Any donation will help. And I think our target for the weekend is $3,000. And Get Vocal is matching 1/3 of whatever gets donated. So please donate. Every little bit helps. All right, with that being said, we're going to start folding. So we're going to take one edge and fold it to the other side. Make sure you line those edges up like that and crease. Make sure it's a sharp crease. Then unfold that. Uh-oh, there we go. And then from top to bottom, same thing. You're going to fold and then unfold that. Now, I usually have 1 or 2 people at one point or another in these teaching lessons get stuck. If you get stuck and you need help or you need me to re-explain, is that a word? Anything, just please make a quick comment in the comment message section, and then we'll unlock the camera and you can pop in and say, hey, I'm stuck, and I will try and walk you through that. All right, anyway, so we folded top to bottom, side to side. Now we're going to turn the paper over and we're going to fold top edge to side edge. So we're going to fold on the diagonals. And that's one. Unfold that and then fold the other diagonal as well. Okay, so now you should have 8 sections, all these crossing lines. We're going to collapse this into what we call a water bomb base. So bring up these 2 edges, fold them towards the center, push down on the top, and you have a pyramid. Reinforce all of your lines, make sure they're nice and neat and straight. And there we go. All right, next step, we're going to fold this flap over to the other side. Just the top flap. Now we're going to take this corner, just the top corner, and fold this all the way to the top. Get it as close to the center mark here as you can. You want that lined up with the crease that runs up and down. Give that a crease. Like that. So far, so good. I don't see any smiling faces out there, so I can't tell if you're doing well or not. All right, now we're going to take this corner and fold it to here. Here's a tip for this particular model. We're not going to make it as dead on accurate as we can. If we leave a little gap between this edge and this edge, it'll make the final step easier. And when by a little gap, I mean a little tiny gap. Like that. So let's see, can you see? I can't find the angle. This one. So I think that helped a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap. All right, once you've got that, take this whole section, fold it back over. Now we're gonna do the same thing with this corner. Fold it all the way over. Fold this to the very top. Then fold that corner down to here, and again, leave just the tiniest of gaps. And then fold that back over. Starting to look like a holocron. All right, turn this over. We're going to do something similar to what we just did. We are going to, let me double check my work here. Yes, I'm going to fold this over. Jim just asked if I'm logged in as 2 users. Yes, I am. All right, now we're going to fold this to the very top, just like we did the last corner. And this time we're not going to leave a gap. We're going to take this corner and fold it all the way down. This edge line up with this edge. All right. Now I'm going to unfold this flap, lay it out, lift this flap straight up and down on that first crease. We're going to open this up and do what we call a squash fold. We're going to squash the paper flat. Now you want to make sure these edges line up. Once you've got that, you now have a little black tab, a little white tab, and over here we have a little pocket. We're going to fold this edge back over, and while we're doing that, I'm going to take this white flap and put it into this pocket as we bring these edges together. So, like this. And it goes in there. Slide it all the way across. Yeah, man. You got to be smarter than the paper. Apparently, I am not smarter than the paper. There we go. All right. So now we have this locked in place, a little black tab up here, and on the top, a little pocket over here. We can do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to give everyone a couple seconds to catch up on that in case you're stuck. I can't tell if we're good or not. When I do these with Zoom videos, people go, yay, we're good, and we can move on. Jim asked if I have an origami dewback. Yes, I do. And I think I made a YouTube tutorial. Connie, could you put a link to my YouTube tutorials up there? There we go. Look at that. They're all over this. Everyone give Connie and Amanda a round of applause. They are excellent helpers. Okay. If the dewback is not in my origami tutorial, I'm pretty sure it is because I made special paper for it. I don't have one sitting next to me. I'll show off some of the stuff I made in a little bit. First, I'm going to finish this. So I'm assuming everyone's up to here. Okay, same thing. We're going to take this last flap, fold it over, fold that to the very top. Give that a crease. Fold it back down even with this edge. Give that a good crease. Unfold those. Then, here we go. Open this up and spread it flat. Now we take the white flap and put it into this pocket here while we bring these two flaps together. All right, this is a finished unit. So what we have here is one side of the box. There's two open pockets here and two flaps here. We're going to make 6 of these. I'm going to walk you through a second one, and then hopefully you'll be able to handle the rest yourself, and I will show you how to put all this together. So put that aside, and I've lost all my paper. There it is. Make another one. All right, fold in half. Unfold. Fold in half. Unfold. Turn over. I made Jim happy. Was it the finishing this or giving you an option to make an origami dewback? Right, corner to corner. Unfold. Then from here, collapse into water bomb. One flap over. This corner goes to the top. Then we'll fold this down. Remember, leave that little tiny gap. The tiny gap gives that pocket or the tab a little bit of room to fit into this pocket. All right, fold that back over. This flap folds over. We repeat the process. Fold that down. And then back over. We now have our two locking pockets. Turn this over. Fold to the top. Fold to the bottom. Lift that flap straight up and do the squash fold. Make sure these line up. Whoops, I forgot to do all that from over here. It still works. All right, white pocket goes into, or white tab goes into the pocket. Like that. That folds over. Fold to the top. And to the bottom. Unfold and then squash that. And then finally, the white pocket or the white tab goes into the pocket. And now we have two of these. All right, now snap your finger and like magic, you've got 6 of these. So once you've folded all of the other panels, now we're going to assemble it into a cube. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to take 2 units, 1 pocket, 1 tab, stick one in the other. Now, this one, I've got a pocket and a tab. It's now on 3 sides. I can bet you can see where this is going. This one and this one. Get in there. All right, so now we've assembled it into a box. Now the beauty of this is you're going to unfold it again, leaving the 6 parts connected, but you can unfold it in a multitude of different ways. So let's go with this one. I'm going to fold into a cross. Or I can actually, instead of doing that, unfold it this way. So I have an odd shape. Or this is one of my favorites to play with. Gives you a lot of room to play with. As long as you can fold it back into a box. So I put the box together, then unfold it so you have all the panels. Now you use something that we never ever use in origami. Never. Cheating. Glue. I want this to stay. I don't want to glue these tabs, but I do want to glue wherever it's connected, like in here. So I'll put a drop of glue there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. Once that's glued, I can now assemble this into the box anytime I want and open it up anytime I want. So here, you can see that I've glued these tabs, but left the others so I can put it together and take it apart. Just like that. So that's how you make these individual panels. Now the next question is how we fix for time. Still have about half an hour. So two things. Again, I want to remind you guys about donating to Make-A-Wish. I highly recommend it. And the second thing is I can show off some of my work, or I can answer any questions you might have about origami. Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you how to do the Jedi fighter. But seeing as we have a half hour left, I could teach you something else that's pretty simple, like maybe the dewback. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments and let me know what you think. Yes. Okay. Which one? How do I feel about kirigami? Good question. I don't do kirigami myself. It's an art form, and I have seen some absolutely astounding, amazing stuff. It's not my cup of tea personally, but I can't say anything bad about it. I think it's amazing for the people who do it well, do it really beautiful. It would be like me saying origami is the only art and I can't stand anybody, or I don't like anything that uses paint and brushes. It's just a completely different art form. There's an artist who does amazing, I don't even count as kirigami, but he'll cut the paper in such a way that when you stand it up, each little part opens up and it makes a scene. When seen from the side, you'll see X-wings and the whole bit, like scenes, and they're really amazing. I don't even know how he does it, or she. I don't know if it's a he or she. All right, so can I teach you something else, or answer questions, or show off some stuff? This is one I'm proud of. This is one piece of paper. It's Baby Yoda. I wish you could see it, but oh wait, I can do this. There, Baby Yoda in his little flying crib with his custom paper. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I love that one. I've got the ATST. I just recently updated this one. It was a 20-year-old model I had to update. This was a request from someone on my YouTube channel. They wanted a V-wing a couple of weeks ago, so I invented a V-wing. The Razor Crest from The Mandalorian. That's also a YouTube tutorial. Here's a good one. This one took me 7 years to invent. The hardest part was getting these wings, or the struts for the wings, thin enough and small enough, but still leaving enough paper to make the wings. It's probably the most complicated one in the first origami book. And then I have simple ones. Oh, wait, you might recognize this guy. Um, I know. How do you feel about doing? Oh, X-wing. I have an X. I have all 100 in a box next to me over there. Sorry, you're gonna have to sit. And I'd have to dig through it to find the X-wing. It is in the first book. Let me show the book off. I should be doing that. So, where's the X-wing? Here it is. So that is the finished model using the custom paper. So this is my origami book. And what's the cover price? 17 bucks, but you can usually find it on Amazon for about 10. And I forget how many pages, 271, something like that. It comes with custom paper for all of the projects in the back. And step-by-step directions for everything. This thing took me 12 years to write and get published. Very proud of this book. Now, why is everything look? Oh, well. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make another model if you're up for it. Connie and Amanda did this one last couple days ago. So Boba Fett, if you want. Or something else. So if I'm not mistaken, Jim is pretty much the only student I've got. Jim, what do you think? Good point. Let's do a dewback. I think we have time. Let's see. Hold that thought. Oh, the dewback is buried in that box somewhere, so I'm just going to have to make it and show it to you. Just sent a picture now, Jim holding 100 of the little guy. Okay, so I have a piece of paper, and hopefully I can teach you this and fold along. We have 25 minutes. I think we can pull this off. All right. If you have colored paper, I'm going to fold this in green because I think dewbacks are kind of greenish, not purple. So, okay, side to side. And then side to side. And then now this is called a blintz fold. We're going to fold all four corners to the center. Turn it over, and you're going to fold this in half. Now we're going to take each edge, fold it to the long center line. Then pull this paper out. Fold it up. And then again, we're going to fold this edge to the center, unfold, and this edge to the center. Okay, Jim said he's just going to be able to, so I can just show it how it looks. Right, crease this. We're going to do what we call a rabbit ear fold. So we've just put that crease. We're going to pinch, lift that straight up and down, and then fold it one side, then the other. Then we're going to take that edge we've just made, this diagonal edge here, fold it straight down, unfold, and squash that little tiny triangle. Uh-oh. Now we take the edges of these little triangles, fold them to the center. I don't know if the details are showing up on the camera. Unfold those, and then we're going to stretch this up to the top using those creases, bring them back together, and fold it back down. We call this a petal fold. Then that triangle goes down, and we fold that forward. That, and we have one leg. Now, we're going to fold this flap to the center. So now we have another triangle, and we're going to make a slightly bigger leg. Again, the edges to the center. Fold, petal fold. And now we have another leg. All right, that's half. Turn it over. We're going to repeat. How are we doing on time? 20 minutes, plenty of time. Have I seen Kubo? Is that Kubo and the two strings or something like that? If that's what your question was, yes, I have seen that. And I did enjoy it very much. I thought the animation was really special. Amanda says, look at those little dewback legs. So I have a trivia question for you. Why is a dewback called a dewback? I remember reading years ago in one of the guides that the dewback is called that because they have silver fur that runs along their backs, and in the morning when the sun hits it just right, it looks like it's dewdrops. Okay, now we have 4 legs. And he's got a hump like a camel. That's got to go away. So a little bit of a crease starts right here at the tip of the shoulder, straight across, and then it gets folded inside. So it goes away. And the same thing on the other side. And then, oops, make a tail. I'm doing that right. Oops, wrong side. And then put some hips in it. There we go. So that's the back half. Now we make the head. And it gets a little bit of an eye. And then finally, some feet. And that is a dewback. If you get really fancy, you can take this flap, turn it into a sink fold, take this, slip it into that pocket, locks the whole thing closed. That's good enough now. All right. There's still 10 minutes left. Oh, I like that trivia. I missed it. The first time the word dewback is ever spoken in canon is the episode of The Mandalorian where he rides one. Cool. So, Kirigami, Jabba. I did a life-size Jabba the Hutt at Celebration 3. I don't know how to show a picture of it, but the paper I used was 20 foot by 20 foot, and I had the audience do the actual folding. I had 10 people. I pulled them out of the audience. They had no idea what they were doing. So I basically said, all right, you three over there, take that corner, bring it way over there, line that edge up, you four, crease that. And we made Jabba the Hutt. Took a little over an hour. It was amazing. Jim, do you do Kirigami? Oh, there we go. I do have two, well, they're not tutorials, but two videos that I posted on my YouTube channel. One, that same weekend I made, let's see, I started with the Naboo Starfighter, the Jedi Starfighter, Jabba the Hutt, and then the Actus Jedi Fighter from Episode 3. So I made one of these giant models each day of the 4 days of Celebration 3. So the Naboo Fighter and the Jedi Fighter were both filmed, so I made videos of them. So you can find them on my YouTube channel. I think you would have been fine, Amanda. All right, so I guess there's no other questions or no other comments. We could wrap up the. I thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Jim, I got a request. If you go onto YouTube, find the dewback tutorial and make one, then you have to send me a picture and show me how you did, and I'll put it on my my Star Wars Origami webpage under my guest artist page. So if you go to starwarsorigami.com, and the top drop-down menu, you'll see guest artist, and right up there is all the people who made my models. There are a lot of Star Wars models out there, but I think I'm the most prolific. I'm about to hit 100 unique Star Wars models. Let's see, I can show this one off. This will be in my next book. Comes out October 6th. Where is it? There. Yeah, it's hard to. This one is, here we go. It's Lando Calrissian, obviously. Um, so the special paper is in the book to make this Lando. What else have I got? I don't have much at the moment right here. This is one that didn't make it into the book, so I believe it's a tutorial. C-3PO. And this one is in the first book. It's one of my favorites, one of my very first designs, Bantha. Anyway. So if there's no more questions, then hopefully I will see you here tomorrow. Pacific Coast time, 11 o'clock. I don't know what that translates to other places, other time zones, but I'll be teaching the Jedi Starfighter using that special paper there and showing the rest of the box and how to put it together. I have my pride joy, Star Wars Origami. Star Wars Origami 2 comes out October 6th. It will have 32 projects in it. I think it's 32. Some are really simple, lightsabers. Some are very complicated. I think Lando's probably the most complicated one in there. Everything in between, the First Order helmet. What else is in there? Wow, you'd think I'd know them all by now. I also have a couple other books, but they're really obscure. One is called Sort of Difficult Origami, and the other one is called Difficult Origami, and they are not. They were designed for very young kids as part of a 4-book series. I'm in a couple other books, one called World's Greatest Origami. I've got a couple, I'm mentioned in a couple magazines and things like that. So I'm out there. I'm not a world famous origami artist yet, but I'm out there. What's my favorite project to teach? The Millennium Falcon. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. I did do a video tutorial for it. It's the most, of all the models that I've created, it's probably the easiest yet most iconic. One of the ones I teach at all of my performances is Boba Fett's helmet or Jango Fett's helmet, depending on which piece of paper you use. It's a little easier and it takes about half an hour or so. So it's an easy one, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is the Millennium Falcon. So I guess we'll wrap it up. One more time, I'll say enjoy Forcefest. The Falcon seems so intricate. Thanks, Connie. Not that crazy difficult. One of the additions I made to it after putting the origami book out the first time was putting the, what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it. The dish on the top. It's not a radar dish. It's the communications dish, but there was a name for it. And I forget what it's called. Anyway, I put that in there, and I just think it looks really cool. But that's what makes it a little bit more complicated. You can actually leave it out and just do the directions that are in the book, and it's simpler. Ooh, I can tell a great story about that model. It's an embarrassing story. So when I was trying to get the book published, it took me 12 years to get it published, like I said. So about 5 years before I got it published, is it more than that? Anyway, doesn't matter. It was just before circle or rectangle. It's the Rectenna. That's the name of it. Anyway, so I'm trying to get this book published. I've been calling Lucasfilm once a year, or sometimes twice a year, for about 5 years at this point, and saying, I want to do this book. And Lucasfilm kept saying, we're not going to let you do the book. We're not interested. No one's going to buy it. No one's interested in Star Wars Origami. It's not going to happen. So I do events and I do museum and things. And I tried everything I could to get them to say it would be worth it. So anyway, I've got a prototype of the book. It's got 20 models in it, I think. And there's like 6 copies in existence. My mom has one. I've got one. My girlfriend had one. I gave one to a guy I worked with because his son loves origami, but no one's seen the book. It's not out there. So anyway, I'm in line waiting to buy tickets in advance for episode 1. So I'm in line for 2 hours, 3 hours. It was a crazy line. They're not even selling tickets yet. We're all just standing around. And of course, what am I doing? I'm making Star Wars origami models and passing them out to everybody. Yep, we stood in line for movie tickets. I used to stand in line overnight for opening days before they sold them in advance. Anyway, so I'm in line and I would make a Star Destroyer and hand it out to somebody. And this annoying little kid, about 10 years old, standing next to me is like, oh, I've seen that model before. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, right, kid, whatever. So I'd make the X-Wing and I hand that out to someone else. And he says, oh, I've seen that one too. I'm like, but I'm not, it's a 10-year-old kid. I'm just letting him go. This went on for a couple hours. Everything I made and handed out, this kid is like, yeah, I've seen that one before. And I finally lost my patience. So I snapped. I'm like, look, kid, you haven't seen these before. I invented them and no one knows about them. And he's like, well, I saw the book they came out of. I'm like, you didn't see the book. I wrote the book. I've been trying. I mean, I just went off. I was trying to get this thing published. No one's rah, 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 rah. And then he says, well, Andrew brought it into school one day. Like, oh, crap. Andrew Hogan? Kid I'd given the book to. Yes, he had actually seen them all, and I felt horrible. So I made the Millennium Falcon, and I gave it to him as kind of a silent apology. It was very embarrassing. Anyways, I think we are out of time. It's 4:58 according to my computer here. So hopefully I will see you back on Sunday, and I'll show you how to make the Jedi Fighter and put together the origami box. In the meantime, your homework is to finish the other 6 panels and glue them together. All right. Happy Forcefest. Thank you for attending. Connie and Amanda, thank you for helping. And hopefully I will see you all soon.